Che, it's 17 years since you last played with Essendon. What was it like walking back into the club headquarters today?
Well, first time that I've been out here at Melrose Drive, but I used to live about 100 metres from here before it was fashionable. But yes, no, I don't know. Been away for a long time, but I feels the same.
What are some of the memories you have from your time at Essendon? It was obviously you went on to play at Port Adelaide, but you were part of some pretty strong Essendon sides, including 1996, where they got close to a prelim final.
Yeah, well, you're right. So it was the emergence of James Hird as a elite player. You had people like Mercury in the forward line that made things a lot easier. You also had Gavin also before he moved to Port. But Fletch, of course, who's still playing, that's a miracle in itself. But very, very happy and proud of my days at Bomberland.
And playing alongside Michael Long as well, that must have been a thrill for you.
Yeah, it was. So coming from Cairns and then moving to Adelaide and then to Essendon, it was always a dream to play at a club like Essendon and the AFL. But certainly Michael was a contributing factor to loving the Bombers. But also Sheeds, you know, I have a lot of time and respect for Sheeds as well. And he was in growing up in Cairns, you heard of Kevin Sheedy, but to finally meet him was something else.
You were part of a pretty significant moment in AFL footy. What followed that famous 1995 Anzac Day game? What can you remember about that time? We've heard you reflect today about what took place. What are your sort of memories of that time?
Well, I was only a young boy, I think 19 or 20, turning 20 at that stage, but I still understood the significance of what we were doing. We got a lot of slack from the community, and people were probably not ready for it because it came on them like a tsunami. And so a lot of people didn't know how to handle this reaction, and so you tended to get a lot of people saying, well, just put up with it and deal with it later. But we knew that it wasn't just about the Aboriginal players. It was a document that we created for all people who wanted to belong to the game, and so that's why it's so dynamic in its capture of sexual discrimination, racial discrimination, and others.
So 20 years on, now we have Indigenous round this week and Dreamtime at the G. How does that make you feel when you see, players wearing special Indigenous jumpers and the ceremonies that take place during this week?
Well, the document is different to Indigenous round, but it's actually it's a significant round, and so what it is an acknowledgement of the contribution of Aboriginal people to the game, and there's a lot of other people that contribute to the game as well. But I think it's fitting because it's in Australia. You've got the Indigenous people of Australia, and it's an Indigenous game of Australia. So it's very fitting.
And do you still keep a close eye on how the Bombers are progressing?
I do actually, and my nephew Courtney Dempsey is here. I've got a lot of people I still know. I just ran into Lloydie. He's a kicking coach. I'm not sure how well he's doing, but he needs to remember who kicked the ball to him most of his 700 or 800 goals. But it's the same. It's home. It's where I played my first game. I remember MCG against West Coast. She'd said, "You're playing," and never forget that time.
All right, well, thanks a lot for coming back today, Che. Really appreciate it, mate.
No worries. Thanks for the chat.